I, Jordan Carter, stood in front of the Grand Willow Hotel in Chicago, where my sister, Avery Carter, was about to marry Ethan Whitmore, her college sweetheart and the wealthy businessman my parents always spoke of with pride. The midnight blue dress I wore today cost half my monthly salary, but I bought it anyway, because I deserved it. I deserved to stand at my sister's wedding as a part of the family, not as an outsider. But I was wrong. Inside the grand ballroom, the air was stifling with the scent of white roses and Chanel No. 5. Avery always loved extravagance. I forced a smile at unfamiliar faces, hoping no one would notice how out of place I felt. I made my way to the check-in table, where a young receptionist greeted me with a bright smile. Asterisk, your name is? Asterisk. Jordan Carter, I said evenly. Asterisk, the bride's sister. Asterisk. She blinked, her fingers gliding over the guest list. And then, asterisk asterisk that look asterisk asterisk appeared. Pity. I knew it too well. Oh, you're at table 12, she said, pointing toward the dimly lit hallway, where a few small tables were set up near the restrooms. I picked up my name card. Jordan Carter, written in elegant script, placed at the most isolated corner. Asterisk. Is there a mistake? Asterisk, I asked, keeping my voice steady, though my palms were already sweating. She offered a hesitant smile. Asterisk, no, this is the assigned seating. Asterisk. I glanced at the seating chart. My parents were near the bride's table. Avery's best friends sat close to the stage. Even Ethan's ex-girlfriend had a seat in the main hall. And me? A lonely table, just outside the ballroom doors, as if I were an afterthought. I found my mother, asterisk asterisk Diane Carter asterisk asterisk, standing next to Avery, adjusting the sparkling wedding gown. Mom, I called, keeping my voice steady. Asterisk. I was seated in the hallway. Asterisk. Diane turned, her expression impatient. Asterisk, Jordan, now is not the time. Avery is busy. Asterisk. I just want to know why, I said, my voice slightly trembling. Avery smirked. Asterisk. You're overreacting again. Someone has to sit farther away at every wedding. Asterisk. Asterisk. But why me? Asterisk, I asked directly. Asterisk. I'm family. Asterisk. Diane sighed as if I were an inconvenience. Asterisk, Jordan. You know we have to prioritize important guests. Don't be selfish. Asterisk. Selfish. That word cut straight through me. I was selfish for wanting to sit with my own family on such an important day? Avery looked at me with thinly veiled amusement. Asterisk, if you're uncomfortable, you can always leave early. Asterisk. I stood there, fists clenched. Not out of anger, but because I realized the truth. Asterisk asterisk. They never saw me as family. I turned and walked out of the ballroom. Laughter and music filled the air behind me, but I no longer belonged there. I looked down at the name card in my hand. Jordan Carter. Then, I set it down on an empty table, leaving it behind. If they wanted me to disappear, I would. But not in the way they expected. Sitting in a taxi away from the hotel, I ran my fingers over the name card, now torn in half. Chicago at night was loud and cold, but not as cold as Avery's mocking laughter, still ringing in my ears. ####1. The forgotten graduation. ****. 2 years ago, my college graduation fell on the same day as Avery's bar exam. Jordan, you understand, right? Mom patted my head like I was still 5. Avery's exam is more important. We'll attend your grad school graduation instead. I stood alone in the auditorium, watching other families hug and celebrate. My phone remained silent until 11 p.m., when a message from Avery finally came. Finished my exam. Mom's making pho for me. No congratulations. No questions about how my ceremony went. ####2. The Forgotten Notebook, ****. Last summer, while helping clean the house, I stumbled upon a brown leather notebook in my mother's drawer. The first page had a photo of Avery receiving her law degree. The pages after were filled with detailed notes. _3/5/2015. Avery got into Harvard Law, must call Mrs. Whitmore to share the news. _7/12/2017. Avery loves peonies, remember to buy some for her room. I flipped through the final pages, searching for anything about me. The only mention of my name was a rushed note. Remind Jordan to pay tuition, she's handling it herself this semester. ###3. The Toxic Compliment, ****. Jordan has always been independent, so we never have to worry about her. Dad said it every time someone praised me. It sounded like a compliment, but now I understood. It was an unspoken acknowledgement that I was the child they never needed to care for. When Avery failed her first driving test, the whole family consoled her. When I crashed my bike and needed 12 stitches, Mom simply texted, "You're grown up now. You can handle it." The taxi stopped in front of a small bar. I stepped inside and ordered a strong whiskey. Maybe I should thank Avery. Her systematic cruelty had taught me to stand on my own. But tonight, after years of silence, I decided I wouldn't stay quiet anymore. I pulled out my phone and sent a single message. **Eleanor, I need to talk to you. About Avery. **. I sat in the dark corner of the bar, my finger hovering over the send button before pressing it. The message went to Eleanor. Less than 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Meet me in the East Lounge of the hotel. Make sure no one sees you. ###1. The curtain falls, ****. Eleanor Whitmore opened the door, her expression unreadable. She wasn't like the monster-in-law type you see in movies. No flashy jewelry, no over-the-top attitude. Just a simple black dress and eyes sharp as a scalpel. "I think you should see this," I said, handing her my phone. The screen lit up with messages Avery had sent her best friend 3 months ago. Eleanor took the phone, scanning the words with a practiced calm. "Ethan's so clueless. Once we're married, I'll file for divorce and take half. His mom's rich as hell, like, Croesus-level rich." She didn't even flinch. "I've had my suspicions for a while," Eleanor sighed, then pressed play on a voice recording. Avery's voice crackled through the speaker, laced with disdain. "His whole family thinks money can buy love. The Whitmores are pathetic. Once I lock this marriage down, I'm kicking them all out of my life." I swallowed hard. What are you gonna do with this? Eleanor smiled, the kind of smile that made my stomach drop. "Oh, the wedding's still happening, Jordan. But there will be a few modifications." ###2. The Final Act, ****. By the time I got back to the ballroom, Avery was on stage, champagne glass in hand, basking in her own triumph. "Thank you all for being here to celebrate." Ethan stepped forward, cutting her off. His face was pale, his grip tight around a stack of papers. "Before we go any further," his voice was like ice, "I have a question for my fiancé." The room went dead silent. Avery let out a nervous laugh. "Babe, what are you doing? You're supposed to be toasting." How long were you planning to scam me? Ethan slammed the papers onto the table. A drafted divorce agreement from last month? Texts plotting to split my assets with your friend. Avery froze. Who told you? Eleanor rose from her seat, slow and deliberate. No one had to, dear. You said it all yourself. My mother, Diane, shot up from her chair. Asterisk. This has to be a mistake. Avery would never. Asterisk. Asterisk. Enough. Asterisk. Ethan's voice thundered across the room. For the first time, I saw him completely snap. Asterisk. She married me for money. She called my mother cheap trash. Asterisk. Hashtag 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 3. The unshakable truth. Asterisk asterisk. Avery lunged at me like a moth to a flame, her eyes burning with rage. Asterisk. You ruined everything. Asterisk. I didn't move. Asterisk. You did that to yourself, Avery. Asterisk. Diane clutched Avery tightly, then turned to me with pure hatred in her eyes. Asterisk. How could you do this to your own sister? Asterisk. And then, the most unexpected thing happened. My father, Richard, the man who had been silent for 28 years, stood up. His voice was shaky but firm. Asterisk. That's enough, Diane. She has torn this family apart for long enough. Asterisk. Eleanor stepped forward, looking at Avery like she was something scraped off the bottom of her shoe. Asterisk. The wedding is over. You have 24 hours to pack your things and leave my son's apartment. Asterisk. Avery collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. But this time, no one came to comfort her. Avery's sobs echoed through the ballroom, but this time, they weren't the sweet, manipulative tears she'd always used to control everyone. This was the cry of a cornered animal. Asterisk. It's all Jordan's fault. Asterisk. Avery screamed, her finger trembling as she pointed at me. Asterisk. She's jealous because I have everything. She made up this whole story. Asterisk. The room fell silent. The once elite guests now looked at Avery as if she was something repulsive. Diane charged toward me, her eyes bloodshot. Asterisk. What have you done? Do you know you've just ruined your sister's life? Asterisk. I stood still, not running, not lowering my head. For the first time in my life, I looked my mother straight in the eye. Asterisk. It's not me. Avery has destroyed everything herself. Asterisk. Richard, the man who had always stayed silent in the shadows, stepped forward. His voice was heavy. Asterisk. Diane, enough. We've indulged Avery for too long. Asterisk. My mother turned to look at her husband, her face pale. Asterisk. You're really siding with her? Asterisk. I'm siding with the truth, Dad said, each word clear and firm. Asterisk. We've let Avery become this monster. And Jordan. Asterisk. He looked at me. Asterisk. Our daughter has suffered enough. Asterisk. Eleanor stepped forward, holding out her phone with a recording of Avery cursing out the Whitmore family. This is no longer a family matter, she said, her voice as cold as ice. Asterisk. This is a crime of fraud. Avery knows exactly what she's doing. Asterisk. Avery was like a wounded animal, her eyes darting around the room searching for help. But this time, no one came to her aid. Asterisk. Mom. Asterisk. Avery cried, clutching Diane tightly. Asterisk. You have to help me. I haven't done anything wrong. Asterisk. Diane held her daughter, but her gaze was different. This was the first time I saw doubt in her eyes. Avery. Did you really? Asterisk. Enough. Asterisk. Ethan cut her off. He stepped forward, looking at Avery with a look I had never seen before. Disgust. Asterisk. I want you out of here. Now. Asterisk. Avery collapsed to the floor, her multi-$1,000 wedding dress torn at the hem, her once perfect makeup smudged from the tears. Asterisk. You'll all regret this. Asterisk. She screamed before leaping to her feet and rushing out of the ballroom. The room was filled with whispers. The guests started to trickle out, many throwing disgusted glances at my family. Eleanor placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. Son, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Ethan said, his voice weary. He looked at me. Asterisk. Thank you. If it weren't for you. Asterisk. I nodded, saying nothing. No words were needed. Diane stood there like a statue, tears streaming down her face. Richard embraced her, but his eyes were fixed on me. This was the first time in my life I saw regret in them. But it was too late. I picked up my purse and walked toward the door. No one stopped me. No one called me back. Maybe they finally understood. Jordan Carter had suffered enough. The taxi left the Grand Willow Hotel in silence. I sat there, gazing through the fogged-up window, watching the city of Chicago blur in the pouring rain. My phone had turned off at some point. I didn't need to wait for calls that would never come. O'Hare Airport was quiet at midnight. I sat at gate A-17, holding a one-way ticket to Seattle. On the chair next to me, a Chicago Tribune was accidentally left face-up. The image of Avery collapsing at the broken wedding dominated the front page, with a large headline, Asterisk Mafia Bride, the Scandal of the $1 Million Wedding. Asterisk. I folded the newspaper and tossed it in the trash. It was no longer my problem. The Boeing 787 took off at 1:17 a.m. As the city lights faded below, I felt a strange sense of relief, as if I had just shed the weight of 28 years. A week later, as I sat in my small apartment in Capitol Hill, my phone buzzed. Diane. Asterisk. Jordan. I'm sorry. Asterisk. Her voice trembled over the phone. Asterisk. But Avery really needs us now. She's completely broken. Asterisk. I looked out the window. Seattle was raining hard today, the kind of persistent rain I had learned to love. Asterisk. I'm not angry, Mom. Asterisk. I said, my voice surprisingly calm. Asterisk. But I need to live for myself now. Asterisk. There was silence on the other end for a long time. Then a deep sigh. Asterisk. Do you need anything? Asterisk. The question made me laugh. It was the first time she'd asked that in 28 years. Asterisk. No, Mom. I'm fine. Asterisk. I hung up. Not out of anger, but because I had said everything I needed to say. The next morning, I received an email from Eleanor Whitmore. Asterisk. Dear Jordan. My design firm is looking for a new creative director. You seem like a perfect fit. Eleanor, asterisk. Attached was a job description, with a salary 3 times my current one. I looked out the window. The rain from last night had cleared. The first rays of morning sunlight streamed through the clouds, casting warm golden streaks across the walls of my apartment. For the first time in years, I smiled. Final note, asterisk. Asterisk. Sometimes, family isn't where you're born, it's where you're allowed to be yourself. Asterisk.